And it's me, it's DOGG, and I'm back. Yes, I'm back. Back again. And I brought a friend. It's not just me, I brought my friend, Charlotte. Hello, Charlotte.
Hello.
Hello, Charlotte. And are you my friend?
I'm your friend.
Oh, that is marvelous. That is, and I've not just got one friend, despite what my wife tells me. I've got more than one friend. Here's another friend. It's Lucas. Hello, Lucas. How are you, other friend?
I'm good. How are you?
Oh, I'm marvelous. I am just marvelous. Other friend. We're all here. We're all friends together. Isn't that lovely? That is absolutely lovely. But how are we, Charlotte? First of all, how are you? It's been so long.
Yeah, I'm really good. I've had tonsillitis last week, but I'm so much better now. So yeah, really good. Thank you.
Oh, that's good. I've had my tonsils taken out because I had tonsillitis all the time. It was like a fashion thing. I missed so much school, which is what I blame any sort of lack in my education or knowledge on. is tonsillitis. And how are you, Lucas? Have you had tonsillitis?
Fortunately not, no. No, I'm good. I've got I've got injuries, but no tonsillitis. Just a poor ankle.
And look, do you know what? I already commented on this before we started the pod. I said to Lucas, I'm loving the hair, my friend, loving the hair. And so is Solaris in the chat. They're loving a bit of Lucas here as well. It's jealousy, mate. It is. I mean, how long are you going to go? How big and long and thick are you going for?
No, I'm kind of, I don't know. It's just, I like wearing hats, so it's a bit annoying at the moment, but we'll see. We'll see.
Oh, I'm just jealous. I love a man with hair. And I mean, I'd like to have Lucas's. I'd like to be as handsome as Lucas, but that's just not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. But so, what injuries have you got? Sports related or?
Yeah, sports related. Yeah.
Is that where you've been ass kicking in? Do you do? Is it Muay Thai or something like that?
No, yeah, I do that, but it was actually from football. Funnily enough, I don't get injured from Muay Thai. I get injured from football. It doesn't make any sense.
In Muay Thai, he doesn't get injured; he gives the injuries. so don't mess. But yeah. Speaking of things that hurt, we'll kick off immediately with the Carabao Cup final. That hurt me as a Liverpool fan, and I can imagine Newcastle fans as well. That would have hit. But Charlotte, Manchester United 2, Newcastle 0. How did that one make you feel?
Well, I did promise Sam. Obviously, I'm with an Arsenal fan and a Liverpool fan today, so I promised him I would be more neutral and more on his side, just for his benefit. So, yeah, I thought it was really nice to see Manchester United win another trophy again after all them years. I think they kind of deserve one, especially Ten Hag and the work he's doing. I think he's doing fantastic stuff, especially so soon as well, into obviously his managerial career at Manchester United. Yeah, really good to see. I'm a big fan of Casemiro as well. I think he's a great player and one of the signings of obviously the season. Yeah, but yeah, really happy for Sam. I am.
Sam I am. He eats egg. Was it egg and ham? Sam I am. And
Yeah.
in the chat, he had an amazing day. He was not hurt at all by that. I can well imagine. I mean, Lucas, obviously, me and you are neutrals in this. Obviously, we could be just non-biased, completely neutral. How did you feel?
Non-biased. It was an entertaining game of football. No, that's my non-biased opinion.
In reality,
the better team won. There you go. There's my non-biased opinion. The better team won. Yeah. Newcastle was shocking in that first half.
Yeah, they had more possession. If you like stats, Newcastle did really
wait
well
a minute.
But
when Pep has possession, we don't like that, do we? But when Newcastle have it, it's amazing, is it?
Yeah, they did. I mean, they had better pass accuracy as well. I'm looking at the stats here. More passes. But yeah, it was disappointing. Casemiro, though, as Charlotte touched on, he bossed it.
Oh man,
I mean, for all the grief and abuse that people were giving about it being a dodgy investment, it's not been too shabby, really, is it?
No. It was always going to be a good signing. I don't know why people were that one was when people were trying to find the negatives in it, but it's not like he's 35. He's 31. So it's like Modric is 38 and absolutely. I'm sorry to bring this up.
38.
Yeah, he's 38 years old and he absolutely bossed Liverpool's midfield. Well, Liverpool don't really have a midfield. But anyway, we'll get onto that at some point. But yeah, so he plays for 31. That's like a new peak. That's a new 26, 27. A new peak is 31, 32, 33. That's hero. If he doesn't get, pending no injuries, he can play at the top of his game for the next 4 or 5 seasons. Why not?
Well, I love the idea like 31's like the new 28 because it makes me think, what's 36? 36 must be like the new 31, and I feel really good about that.
in football.
Yeah, we'll keep that in life. And Chris in the chat, Newcastle only had 2 shots on target. This is true, but they took a lot of shots. I mean, granted, they might have been everywhere, but they tried. That's it.
I didn't even remember their shots on target, to be honest.
Yeah, I think Boom Pool. Yeah, the problem was, I agree, in the final third.
St. Max had St. Max has just cannot pass a ball to save his life.
He's really fast though, and he's got cool hair.
And he's tricky, but as soon as he gets to the final third, he just like, I don't know, deer in the headlights.
Yeah. I mean, it explains why no big teams really have come in for him, doesn't it? I mean, and Chris in the chat, Casemiro was 30 when United signed him to class. He is good.
There you go, even better.
And then Solaris is on my train. He's going to make a comeback at 48. I agree. Age is just a number, and lines on my face, unfortunately. But I mean, it would have been personally. I think it would have been nice for Newcastle to win. I would have been good for Eddie Howe. But I will concede. United did well to win. Well done, Manchester United. And you know what's really nice is the final is in Wembley, so they got to play in front of all of their home fans. So that was really lovely.
Yeah,
get in there.
Low blow.
What do you think about your ex-Liverpool legend, Karius in goal?
I saw him warming up, but I thought, did you see that? There was a Twitter video going of him spillaging everything.
Yeah.
You know what's quite funny is he probably after that cup final, he was like traumatized. Didn't you like sold him to a Turkish team? He went there for a few seasons. He finally comes back to England, and then he plays for Newcastle. And he's probably thinking, I don't have to ever deal with another cup final, the pressures of a cup final, ever again playing for Newcastle. Lo and behold, 1 year later, poor guy.
I mean, in a serious note, I worry about him in general, and we've got. Do you know what I've just noticed? There's a huge amount of chats. I've just missed out on all these comments. So let's pull these in. So we've got Alan St. Max. He backs himself to win the Ballon d'Or.
I mean,
maybe he meant like a balloon at a door. Perhaps.
If he learns the pass, maybe.
Yeah, Scoops, when we talk about League Two, that is a special one for Charlotte. I'm sure she is looking forward to touching on League Two later. Scoops, thank you, appreciate that. No. And, Boom is acknowledging my my London joke. That is lovely. And Carrie,
this is true. He made a very good save. Yeah, he really didn't have that bad of a game. It's just funny. It's just funny that's him.
Do you know? And the thing is, I don't know if anyone remembers when Liverpool signed him, he was supposed to be the future of like German goalkeeping, and he was going to be their future number one.
Actually, was pretty good for you up until the final.
He was all right, and in fairness, apparently he had concussion in the game and should have went off anyway. So I do
see that. Yeah, he was a bit. I mean, it was an odd performance in that game. Not to, go back in time, but.
And I've got to be honest though. I'm trying to remember because I blanked that game out of my mind. It was a horrible time to be alive. But that goal we threw it to Benzema. Was that before or after you supposed to have concussion?
That must have been after, surely. Oh no, that was early on.
Yeah, because it was really quite early in the game.
That was early on, yeah.
And I
don't know. It seems like a bit of an excuse, but
yeah. I mean, the third goal. That's fine, and the second goal, of course, was that Bale beauty, because just all he does is score beautiful goals, isn't he, Gareth Bale? But well done, Manchester United. You won a cup.
Yep. Well done.
Awesome. I don't want to acknowledge it any more than that because I believe Sam and Charlotte will be focusing heavily on that cup final on Thursday. So if you want to get all of your United praise and all the joy and glee that you won't get from a Liverpool and Arsenal fan, Thursday, that's the place to be and the show to see. And Scoops is saying it wasn't aimed at you, Shah. He wants to talk about Gillingham. That's how you say it, isn't it? It's not Gillingham. Gillingham. I'm sticking with Gillingham. Oh,
there you go. Gillingham. February champions. There you go, Scoops. Congratulations on your trophy.
Gilly Cammy. But we'll move into the Premier League. I gotta be honest. I was looking at stuff to talk about this week, and I thought it's a bit of a boring weekend, personally, for football. I thought, but we'll come on to Liverpool at some point because I've no doubt it's been a while, and I bet you'll be looking forward to giving me a bit of shit. But the game I enjoyed was Tottenham 2. Chelsea 0. Graham Potter, I feel so sorry for him. And I don't know if anybody saw where he came out during the week or the weekend and said, apparently the preseason was really, really bad. The worst they've ever seen.
I saw that. I think he might be trying to get sacked. Because he didn't used to do this at Brighton. I know it's a different environment at Chelsea, but he's coming out. His press conferences are really weird at the moment. Like the stuff he's saying is just, he came out and was like, well, we didn't score. They were like, well, why do you lose the game? And he was like, we haven't been able to score. And that was his answer. It's like, no shit. Like, that's the whole point. But okay, great insight, Graham. So, yeah, I'm not sure what's going on. He might be trying to get sacked. It's a win-win for him. He doesn't get like £60 million payout if he gets sacked.
It's a beautiful job to have, isn't it, Chelsea?
I'll take that.
It's just marvellous. You just rock up, do good, do bad. It's irrelevant. It's a complete irrelevance because you're going to get a boatload of money. And yeah, exactly. I mean, and just quickly, the Scoops, we can't all be glory hunters. That's I haven't got a local team though. That
might be aimed at you because I am from London, and actually, Arsenal is my closest team to where I live. So
there you go. Charlotte supports Rochdale. I live in a valley with his.
You live in Wales and support Man United. No, Man United, Liverpool. Sorry.
30.
I'm just used to glory hunters being Man, because in London there's a load of Man United fans. It's quite funny. It's always like,
and trust me, being a Liverpool supporter in my lifetime, bearing in mind I'm 36, so I support Liverpool through the 90s and the 2000s. That was not glory hunting.
No,
that was like the opposite.
80s,
it's like self-abuse. That was. And apparently, late knowing to the form two, we shall come into the lower leagues.
What then, Chelsea?
Or Gillingham. I'm Gillingham.
I mean, everyone's got better form than
Gillingham.
Sorry.
Gillingham.
Who has worse form, Rochdale or Chelsea?
Well. We'll have to check that out. I mean, I got to have a goosey gander because I'm intrigued. I mean, Chris in the chat,
Rochdale drew, so maybe it might be Rochdale.
Exactly. That's right. I'm going to look at the table. Well, Chelsea have lost 2 and drawn 3. And let's have a quick look at league. It is 2, isn't it? It is league 2. Yeah, look at this.
No, it's got to be yours. We've lost more than that.
In the last
only by a game. Only by a game. You've lost.
Yeah.
Your form is literally 2 points worse than Chelsea's in the last 5 games. So it's not too bad.
Go on, Dale.
I agree with that comment, by the way, as well. I think Graham Potter's a good manager, but this is the worst possible club he could have gone to.
It's I thought, I have there's another one by Boom. Graham Potter revealed he's received death, which incidentally is mental. If you are offering death threats to a football manager that hasn't abused or murdered a member of your family, there's something wrong with you. This just is football. It's football. The man's trying the bestest that he can. Don't be silly. And if you're watching us and you're one of those nutters that have done that, you're really silly and stop it. But
you're going to get death threats for saying that.
Yeah, I'm going to get death threats for saying stop offering death threats out. Yeah, but I mean, I agree. I have regular arguments with my dad about football, who's a Leeds fan, incidentally. So there's a Welsh family who we've got.
You got a Leeds and Liverpool fan.
Yeah, figure that one out. And my grandmother, his mum is from London as well. So there's There's just no logic. There's no logic at all. But that's what comes being in a mining family in the valleys. But we did discuss about the fact that the move was it was a strange move for him to go to, and that he's at Brighton. He could run it like a proper club. And then he would go to Chelsea, which is this weird mental club where they just like, welcome to the club. By the way, let's have £600 million worth of players, or however much it ended to. And then some of the comments in the press, there was he's concerned he may have a bloated squad, which is just crazy. I mean, but for Charlotte, you've always been an advocate of Graham Potter. What do you think? What's going on?
It's kind of reminding me of Moyes at Manchester United at the moment. Where I just feel like he is a little fish inside this great big pond. And as much as I really want him to do well, and I know they are saying that they are going to back him, I just think there's too many of the fans on the back now, and just results obviously are not going their way at all recently. I just really do not think he will get the time at Chelsea, as much as they're saying they are going to back him. I just don't think they'll give him the time. But then at the same time, like we were saying before, it is kind of a win-win situation for him, because it gets that massive payout. If he does get sacked, him and his family are like sorted for life, aren't they? So yeah,
I mean that'll be me. I mean, Boom in the chat that he thinks he jumped up a level too soon. I tend to agree. I mean, if you look at Brighton as well, Brighton is still doing well. Well-ish.
I feel
they're doing all.
Yeah, I feel at Chelsea, no matter who goes in there, is always going to be pressure, because they are the club that is known to, obviously, they go through managers religiously.
Yeah. I mean, even with new owners, it doesn't really look like much has changed in regards to spending silly money. It reminds me of Abramovich's early days.
Ridiculous.
But we shall see. We shall see what happens. Because it is. I mean, but on manager front, I mean, Conte's still not at Spurs, and do they want him to come back? I mean, Lucas, if looking at the form table, I mean, they've won 4 of their last 5. Do you think they need Conte to come back?
Why are you asking me first about Spurs? What are you trying to say?
I thought that was your team. I know it's been a while since I've been on.
Yeah, because the assistant manager was the one in charge on the weekend, wasn't he?
Yeah, he's in a couple of games.
I wonder if it's just I can't be. I mean, it can't be as simple as just Conte is quite intimidating on the touchline for the players. It might just be as simple as that. But if that's the case, then they're cowards. And to be honest, they play for Spurs and they bottle everything, so it wouldn't surprise me if a manager who actually wants to win is intimidating to a team that doesn't win. I mean, it makes sense. It makes complete sense. So I think they're probably just intimidated. With him shouting at them, he is a pretty terrifying guy, to be honest. So I mean, I don't think it would be as simple as that, but it wouldn't surprise me if that was the case, and just the team are quite intimidated by him, which is why they have such strange performances. But also the games he's been missing are kind of games you'd expect them to win, like Chelsea are awful. Who was the other one that he missed? It was one before Milan, wasn't it? I can't remember who they played.
Leicester? It wouldn't have been Leicester.
No, Leicester, they got battered. That was Conte. Conte came back for the Leicester game.
City?
Was it the City game?
I'm looking. They won 1-0 against City.
Was that the game Conte was first in having the operation? I think so. And then it's like, but they have a good record against City. So it's like, it's kind of, there's mitigating circumstances. Like, there's not enough of a sample size to say Conte is the issue why they're winning. I mean, he's the reason they're up there anyway. But I don't get this with Spurs. Like, what do you expect? It's like, if he gets you Champions League football, you're Tottenham Hotspur. That is success. That's literally success for Tottenham Hotspur. So what are you complaining about? Your football sucks. So what? You're finishing the Champions League spot. You have no right to be there. And when Harry Kane leaves, your club will end in the dust, finally.
I mean, that's what drives me crazy a bit. I mean, Chris in the chat is saying Conte did attend in between games, and the one that they failed to win.
One, I think, yeah.
And I mean, Boom Pool is liking it to Football Manager when you go on holiday and your assistant manager win games, which I do sometimes just to break it up if I get into a bad way.
My assistant manager doesn't win games when I go on holiday.
Oh, mine's a beast. James Milner becomes mine eventually. And Boom said Christian Stellini, I'm guessing, said he wants Conte to come back. I bet he does, because I wouldn't want to have any of that pressure. It's being at Tottenham. As soon as you win a game, he's like, I don't want to touch anything in case it goes wrong, because they're so fragile. And which I mean, and like you said, they're fourth. Does it matter sometimes? And I had this discussion with my old bean again at Sunday dinner about Sean Dyche. Does style matter? Does your style of play really matter for certain clubs when you just want to survive or you just want to do well? And like I said, Tottenham, when we went to last time Tottenham in the Champions League? With any sort of
final. That was last time they were in it. Was that 2019? It was the year Liverpool won it. It was the year you won it.
Oh, do you know what? So they've done this season. They didn't do the season before. Didn't do the season before.
Yeah, 2019 or 2020 it must have been.
Yeah, 2018-19 was when they finished fourth.
Yeah, when they finished fourth, and then you beat them in the final.
Just stop your whinging. Just embrace it and enjoy it. I mean, some teams that play in red would love to be in the top four. So you just shut your faces.
Yeah.
A lot of you.
It's preference, isn't it? Though it's like some people want to see really like attractive football, but you can make defensive football attractive. Like Mourinho for when Chelsea were unstoppable at home for 2 years. When they played at home, they played good football. It was defensively solid. It wasn't like tiki-taka. It wasn't like, total football, but it was good football. So it depends what you want to see, really. But I want to think, if it wins you trophies, like, I'm a fan of Simeone. I don't care. I think to be able to compete with Barca and Real Madrid, even with that horrible football, fair enough. But I think he's going to be the next Chelsea manager, funnily enough, to be honest.
I think he'd be amazing.
Because he's leaving in summer.
Because he's been there a long time, isn't he?
Yeah. It's a perfect fit, to be honest.
That'd be beautiful. I mean, and Chris believes Spurs will get fourth. Boom thinks it's funny that it's just a coincidence that he left. Maybe he just wasn't ready. He came back prematurely, and he's poorly bad, and he'll come back and he'll just raise the roof. But I mean, you're talking about style and teams that sometimes prefer style to substance. I mean, that's always been sort of West Ham for me. And which takes us to West Ham 4, Forest 0. I mean, this was Forest's chance to pull themselves away from that relegation zone, and they blew it. Absolutely blew it. I mean, Shah, looking just at the result of the game, how did that make you feel?
I think it was a must-win for West Ham as well, because I think David Moyes is under a lot of pressure there. There's a lot of West Ham fans obviously calling for his head, and they're very inconsistent as well. But Nottingham Forest, I don't get them as well, because they just seem to pull off like a wonderful result, and then obviously they'll go the next game and they'll lose. And it's a weird one, because as much as I think West Ham, it was a great result against Forest, they're the teams they should also be beating. And I just think West Ham are very inconsistent, and I just cannot put my finger on West Ham at all this season.
Yeah,
I mean, a strange team.
They're a strange club. I mean, it's just there's so much about everything that is just weird. I love seeing Danny Ings score. I don't know why or what it is. I just love seeing him score, and he was right at the last knock-ins.
Yeah, he's a good striker.
Because was he at Liverpool for a bit? I'm trying to remember.
Yep.
He was, wasn't he?
He had a good run in the team. I think that was under.
Was it Brendan?
Dalglish or Rodgers?
Yeah, I think it was under.
It might have been Rodgers.
I think it was brother Brendy. He was one of those signings. We made a couple of signings where you thought,
But Ings made sense because he was scoring. He's a natural goal scorer, but he just can't stay fit. But the guy knows how to score goals, and it's like I thought that was one of the best signings in January. And I mean, you might laugh because it's West Ham, but West Ham, a team notoriously who have not had a striker since.
Yeah.
Carlton Cole, and even then he wasn't that great of a goal scorer. But they needed someone to score goals because Antonio won't score goals. Camacho's decent, but again, not scoring goals. And they literally signed one of the best finishers in the league from Aston Villa for 10 million. It's like that's great business.
It is good work. I mean, Chris in the chat, they were struggling to score, but he's surprised at things.
First start, 2 goals. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I just Burnley. Yeah, it was his
That
Burnley
was it.
days. I
Yes,
loved him.
Burnley,
Yeah.
yeah.
He was superb.
That's
Yeah,
been
I
living
just
on the radar.
yeah, I just like it, and the way that he plays as well. The way that he plays his football is honest, really honest football.
Reminds me
And
of Milan Baros, except he looks up a bit.
I was going to say he scores goals. Milan Baros shouldn't do scoring goals.
Oh no, that is harsh on Milan Baros. He scored a lot of goals for Liverpool.
Yeah.
You'd take him now, wouldn't you?
Do you know who he reminds me of a little bit as well? Matthias Kesman and Baros. I always sort of tied in. I know it was a Kesman was the one who hit the corner flag with a shot off the edge of the box. Oh, it's good to I could recap all day, but I mean that because that does bring us on to the relegation battle. Dun dun dun, and Wolves drawing, obviously. Bournemouth losing to Man City. Well, the Man City winning games. But we'll come on to that in a minute though, just to give you so you can just enjoy being top of the league. So I will let you do that in a moment. Don't you worry. But I mean, at the bottom is obviously Bournemouth losing, West Ham winning. Leeds beating Southampton, a must-win game for Leeds. I mean, Shah, looking at the teams, for me, I think it goes right up to sort of, what are we looking at, 15th, 13th position? I think all of those teams are in it, surely.
Yeah, possibly even Crystal Palace as well. I know, obviously, we're a couple of points out of it, but I know they've got a few injuries as well, and they're a team who seem to be going on a run, and then they'll struggle as well. So as much as I'd like to say they are out of it, I still think there'll be a lot of twists and turns. But for me, I reckon it'll be Forest. Even though they're higher up at the minute, I do think Forest will get relegated. I think Southampton and Bournemouth are my two that are already gone. But I do think Nottingham Forest will be the ones. I don't know, for some reason. I really don't know. I just think
they don't play like a team.
I just think it for them. Yeah. And it's just too many of them as well.
Too many players, yeah.
There's too many of them.
I still wonder if they all know each other.
I never meet a new person each time.
Yes,
each day in training, they'll meet a new person.
Yeah, they have one of them table charts. Like, today you're going to sit by him.
Yeah.
Oh, hello, who are you? Do you know what? Because do you know what it reminds me of a little bit? This is just a sidebar, not a football thing. I work as a freelance musician occasionally, and I was playing in this band contest, and I was chatting to somebody, and they had this big tall guy speaking to him, and I felt really rude. So I just introduced myself. Oh, hi, Josh, how are you? He's like, yeah, I know. I was like, how do you know? And it turns out he was somebody I've known him since he was born until he was about 14, and his parents moved away, and he still sees my family sporadically, and he's like 6'2" now, whereas he was like 4 foot before. Didn't recognize him at all, and I felt really, really rude. But I think that must be a little bit like at Nottingham Forest, a bit like, hi, how you doing? I'm like Mr. Striker. It's like, yeah, I know, I'm the striker too. We do training together after. Do we really? Oh my God! What's your name? And I imagine it must be like a Forest. It's so bizarre. Chris, he wants Leeds to get relegated. I mean, Lucas, who do you think's going down? Do you agree with Shah that it's Southampton, Bournemouth, and Forest, or have you got something exciting?
My beginning of the season predictions are definitely wrong. I think I had Brentford in there.
Well, your Chelsea one was a million miles off, mind.
I did say Chelsea 8th, to be fair. Yeah. I had Bournemouth from the beginning. I can't remember who it was. I think I had Leeds and Brentford. I think, I'm leading with Chris. I think it's tough, but I think I agree with Charlotte in that Bournemouth and Southampton, I think, are gone. I think Southampton are faffing about with this manager situation. They've given that guy the end. Like, you win one game against the worst team and form in the league, and you give him the reins to the end of the season. It's like, what is actually happening in football? Who's making these decisions? You're about to get relegated. Get a proper manager in. He's won one game against Chelsea, and you're like, yep, we trust you to keep us up for the rest of the season. Why not? And then they go and lose straight away. So they've made their bed, to be honest, after second Hasenhüttl getting two managers worse than him.
Yeah.
Bournemouth just not good enough. They're, like, simply put, they're just not good enough. And then the last one, have Leeds got a new manager yet?
I don't think
they haven't yet, have they?
I thought they were announcing it imminently. I thought it was today, to be honest with you.
So I'm going to reserve judgment on Leeds until I see who the new manager is. But I think Leeds are still my favourite to finish 18th. I think But honestly, anyone from like 13 down is
Yeah.
in for Leicester. I mean, Leicester got too much quality, but you never know. Leicester, Forest. I hope Palace don't get dragged into it, but I think Palace and Villa are definitely okay. But I think Palace have got just enough points to be okay.
Yeah.
But everyone else below then, Everton, like anyone could go down. I'd love Chelsea to go down.
I imagine.
That would be lovely. But I mean, yeah, so Xavi Gracia is announced apparently. We're so professional.
Javi
We're so
Garcia
well run.
not the guy that used to play for Man City. Please tell me it's not him.
Let's just have a look. Coaching career, senior team. No, he didn't. He's managed.
The assistant manager at Benfica.
He managed Al Sadd. So he's got good.
Wait, Javi Garcia
pedigree.
or Javi Gracia? Oh,
Gracia.
Gracia. That's why. But you meant Javi Garcia, the DM who played for Man City. I was like, what?
He's been at. I'm trying to think of teams. I'm looking at his managerial career. Teams he might have been at. He's been at Watford once, but everybody has. I wouldn't be surprised if any of us. We might have managed Watford at some point.
Shit, I remember him. Yeah, Watford and Valencia. Okay, so Watford's a good. He's been in a relegation or championship fight, depending on which year it is for Watford. It's one or the other, really. Vying for the championship or about to get relegated. Them and Norwich over and over again, rinse and repeat. I don't know. Maybe he's got experience, to be honest.
Yeah, I don't know. It's an interesting one. I mean, for me, Chris said in the chat, incidentally, I missed that. Brennan Johnson, if Forest go down, they should do it. And it's lovely to see a young Welsh player doing well. And that's but I do. I do it. And he's only young. It's with 21, I think. 2021.
Yeah, he's very young. But also, on that guy, he did manage Watford and kept them up in the Prem when he managed them. So he's got experience of keeping the team up. Leeds might have done themselves a favor there.
You never, and it is tight. I mean, personally, obviously, I'd like Everton to go down.
Everton would be the funniest, to be honest.
It would, but it's horrible now. They got Sean Dyche. It really spoiled it for me because I enjoyed hating on Everton. I was really looking forward to go down, but I love Sean Dyche. And I don't want him to go down, but it
might be too late. That's the only thing with Everton.
Yeah.
They got him in. It might be just too late to stay up. Cavaliers again.
They're a hideously run club as well. They're hideously run. And I do. I worry for him because he's a good manager. And my concern would be this would just stain his career then. I think he'd really, really struggle if Everton get relegated.
I think he's been given a pretty difficult job.
But people are so short-minded, aren't they?
They are, to be fair, but anyone could go in that. It just depends on the fixtures as well, like who's got more home games, things like that.
Well, I looked at what I found quite interesting. So I don't know if you can remember. So when Wolves got promoted, they blasted money all over the shop in the Championship, and they broke the financial fair play rules in the Championship quite significantly, to the point that there's a very real concern. Should they get relegated, and they're only 3 points off relegation, and goal difference, they're minus 15, with West Ham below them are minus 6, Leeds are minus 10, so they've got the same minus goal difference as Everton in 18th position. So they're 3 points off that position. Goal difference is not looking very clever. Should they get relegated, they run a very real chance of being fined by the Football League or a possible points deduction once they enter the Championship. So they could find themselves in the absolute proverbial crapper, as it were, should they get relegated and the Football League go, woohoo, we're going to get you now, boys. And go after them, because they could end up having a points deduction and finding themselves in the Championship for consecutive seasons, and that's a horrible place to be then. So that would, I don't know if that would be funny. It was just an interesting point that I'm putting out there. So they would probably want to avoid it the most. But I mean, I'm again, Southampton and Bournemouth, the two South Coast clubs, I think are going to be goners. I don't want to be Sean Dyche. He's just spoiled everything for me. So other than that, I don't care. If it's not Everton, I don't care anymore. I want it to be them. Yeah. Dyche is spoiled.
Could still be Leicester. I mean, they got quality, but another club that's been in a bit of disarray for other reasons than Everton. I don't know. They got the best squad. That's the thing. They've got the best set of players. Well, debatable between them and Forest, to be honest, because Forest have
And
just
you'd like
signed
to
some
think-
good players.
And Madison's one of those special players where if he starts to do well, he can turn games around.
Single-handedly win games for them, yeah.
Yeah, and there's not a lot of. I mean, if you were to look at sort of Forest, have they got a special player? Wolves do. Wolves have got special players.
Well, yeah, I think. Oh, yeah, I forgot about Wolves. Yeah, I think Wolves are okay. I think Wolves
Yeah.
have picked up since they got a good manager in, and since he's joined, they've been post the World Cup, they've been much better, and they're scoring goals now. So I think Wolves
Yeah.
are probably the only one I'd say are honestly safe of anyone down there.
I mean, and I would say West Ham. They've got special players that can turn games. And Moyes a good manager. I mean, so it is.
Yeah,
It's
a big win
Leeds
for
and
them, but
Everton.
even then, I'm not sure. Yeah, West Ham actually, I think you're right. West Ham and
It's-
Wolves, I can't really see it now.
Yeah, I would love West Ham to be relegated because Declan Rice would be on the cheap then, wouldn't he? In theory.
Apparently, he's coming
Potentially.
to Arsenal already. So
I said, well,
can-
do you know what? While you mention it, let's let you enjoy it a little bit. How did Arsenal do this weekend, Lucas? Tell us, how did that game make you
That was a pretty
feel?
boring game, but we did the job. I don't mind 1-0 as long as you get the 3 points against a poor Leicester side. We should have really scored more, but I don't know. Something just wasn't really clicking in that game going forward, but we got the win, and that's all that matters. So happy days. And then Man City went and destroyed Bournemouth afterwards. So
They
yeah,
did. But you're still ahead with a goal, with a game in hand.
oh god, the stress if that game if it ends up being like this all the way up until the game of the Etihad.
That'd just be amazing. That would be amazing. I mean,
Yeah, not for me. It won't. I don't know if I can take it. But we've got a pretty decent. Well, I'd say we've got a favourable run of fixtures coming up now. But then again, at this point in the season, there are no favourable run of fixtures for us because if we're playing teams in that bottom in that bottom 8, you don't want to play any of those teams now, especially on the top sides who attacks them because it's just a nightmare to play. Look what Forest did to Man City.
I was going to say, you've got all the relegation fodder. Everton,
Yeah, literally every single
Bournemouth,
one.
then Fulham, but then Crystal Palace, then Leeds,
But
West
Palace,
Ham,
Palace is the only game there I'm
Southampton.
actually like really confident about. Okay, Southampton are awful, but yeah, who have we got? We got Everton on Wednesday at home, which I think we should have too much for them. But then Fulham away, that's not easy.
Haven't you lost to Everton recently?
Yeah, we lost them 1-0. Thanks for the reminder. We've got. Let me actually have a look. Who have we got? Yeah, Everton, Bournemouth. Both at home though, but again, yeah, I mean, that should be 6 points. And then Fulham away, that is not an easy game. Palace at home, we should be winning that. Leeds at home. And then after that, it starts to get really nasty.
Yeah, really hard with Liverpool away.
Liverpool away, and then West Ham away, and then Southampton. And those two teams could probably really need points. And then after that, we've got 4 absolute nightmare fixtures. City, Chelsea, Newcastle, Brighton.
But then you get to end against Forest and Wolves, which will probably be doing nothing by that point. So provided
Hopefully.
you're still in it with 2 games to go, you
Hopefully.
could be there. Wouldn't that be lovely?
It would be.
That would,
But
that
that's
would be
the only
lovely.
concern. It's those teams is like when you get those battles like West Ham Forest, it's a bit of an open game because they're both like, we have to get points here. You get a team like when Arsenal, City, even I'd say Man United to an extent play those teams down there now, they're gonna sit back and it's just counters. So it's just how good. And we honestly don't leave. We are like moving like Liverpool 3 years ago. It's like one defender on the halfway line, and that's it.
While I
It's
remember,
just one defender.
after the game, was it Saliba and one of your other defenders had a bit of a Barney on the way off the pitch? And then did you see that? I can't remember who it was.
Against Leicester.
Yeah, Saliba and somebody else. Even though you won the game, they had a proper pop at each other afterwards. I'm trying to remember
I didn't
who
see
it
that,
was.
actually.
Gabriel and Saliba. Check you might be able to find it somewhere, but they had a little bit of a set too after the game, all handbags, obviously.
What, with each other?
Yeah,
Didn't see
maybe
that.
it's just that drive to do really well. And all-
Maybe.
all
I
that
turned that game
pressure.
off as soon as the whistle went. Just like,
I bet you had to go
3
to
points.
the loo.
Yep, that's all we need to talk about that one. Yeah, 3 points. That's it. Move on.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, I'm not gonna really touch on Liverpool. I mean, Chris has just said it was Gabriel, Saliba and Gabriel. See, I wasn't imagining it. Check it out. Have a word next time you're walking past the stadium. Pop your head in and just ask what's going on.
Well, I mean, given
I don't think we need to do Liverpool anymore. We're not doing very well.
you're also very boring now. There was at least some entertainment to it, but now what was that game against Palace?
It was fine. We didn't lose.
That midfield three. I'm sorry, Klopp. What? Just come on, Milner, Henderson, and Naby Keita.
What
Seriously,
we've got no options, and that's the problem. I mean, Thiago's injured all the time.
Play Trent.
Ox is injured. We've got to do something. It's cheesing me off. I mean, I'm
good. Yeah, to be fair,
yeah. I'm taking the clean sheet. I mean, Nunez has been scoring goals recently, as has Gakpo, so that's fine. People are doing stuff. We've got a lovely little game against Wolves next, a horrible one against United, and then 2 throwaway games, Bournemouth and Real Madrid. No one cares. That's
you're at home to United, right?
We are, yes.
That's a big game. Oh, Sunday evening, brilliant.
No, I've stopped watching. I'm a Welsh Liverpool fan. I haven't been paying any attention to sport. I don't want any more sport. That's just it. That's why I've been away so much, because we can't play rugby. My team can't play football. Just horrible. All I've got is like Red Dead Redemption. That's it. That's what I've got, is to play that on the Xbox. But we'll steer away into that before we go. I've heard in the paper United could do a quadruple, apparently. Just throwing it out there, allegedly.
Not the question, to be honest.
They're
sneaking under the radar, United. Like, they're the favourites for the Europa League.
Well, I mean,
I don't think they win the FA Cup, and I don't know about the league. They're in it. They're definitely in the race, but I don't know.
All right. And just for you, Chris, if after the United game, I'll try and be on. Unless we get battered, no, I will. I'll try and be integral.
We've got to get you and Sam for sure.
And yes, Rusty. I haven't seen Rusty in a long time. Liverpool can score the Sovereignty House with a truck full of grain liquor. But we scored 2 against Real Madrid.
This is true.
Really? Yeah, it was great. We scored against Newcastle when they only had 10 men. That was really good, and we'll leave it at that. I'm not going to go too far back. I'm scared to go too far back over our fixtures. It's horrible, and but we'll move on. I think from the Premier League, we'll shifty on. I've done very little preparation on the European leagues, so hopefully Lucas has done a little bit on his league. But La Liga, interesting fact about La Liga this year. I tell you what, let me get rid of this little logo that is spoiling everything for us at the top. Let me shift him. There he goes. So that is out. And Rusty, yes, we got. Not talking about it. Not talking about it. It didn't happen. I missed it, unfortunately. Interesting fact though about La Liga this weekend: 50% of the games that were played had a red card. Everyone was getting red carded. Elche had a red card. Atletico Madrid always had
Elche had 3.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
no one's seen that game. Go and watch the highlights of the Elche and Betis game. It is hilarious.
Oh my god! Yeah, 3 red cards, 2 in 2 minutes.
They went 2-0 up. Elche went 2-0 up, and you could tell the players were like, "Could this be our form turning around? Could this be it? Could this be it?" And then they proceeded to get 3 red cards and give away 2 penalties.
Oh, that is
like, at that point, just relegate them now. Just do it now.
I want to check the other games now. I knew there was lots of red cards. We'll just check. I mean, a pointless red card for Rayo Vallecano, 96 minute. They lost 1-0, and but in the 96 minute, just get sent off. Why not? Why not? I bet everyone really, really appreciated that. Sevilla, the retirement village of Sevilla, another late red card, 94th minute. This time they added their red card and they lost 3-2 to Osasuna. And they're doing the Sevilla. They're mid-table. They're all right. They're doing okay. Another red card then for Atletico Madrid. It's Real Madrid. That was in the 64th minute. So they're all quite late on. I enjoyed the fact, incidentally, that Real Madrid were mocking Barcelona for losing when they drew against
They drew,
Atletico.
yeah.
Yeah.
Just 10-man Atletico as well.
Yeah, I mean, come on, grow up, why don't you? And Valladolid, they had a red card as well. They were 3-0 down, and just why are you getting a red card? It was just a bit like, we've lost, stuff it. I'm going in 2-footed, have a bit of this meal cocker. Just don't understand that at all. I mean, since I was 2 up there conceding pens, it's like Football Manager. It is a very very Football Manager-esque result there. And here we go. And Barcelona's got Real in the Copa del Rey on Thursday. That'll be interesting. But Barcelona losing 1-0 to Almeria to a 24th minute goal as well. So they had plenty of time to come back and try and do something. They didn't. I believe the headline, directly translated into English, the headline from one of Xavi's comments was, "I'm really pissed off." It's great technical analysis.
Paul's right. Man United rattled them, and Madrid couldn't take advantage of it, but it's interesting. It could. I think it is still Barcelona's this year. Madrid don't really look up for it as much, but you never know. 7 points. Got to play each other as well, so Madrid can bring it down to 4 at the very least.
There is a swing. I mean, Valencia winning, they did win. I've threw an own goal.
How did Valencia get relegated? Can you believe that? That'd be insane. Valencia getting relegated.
Do you know what? It's been threatening for so many years, hasn't it?
It's been bubbling, hasn't it?
I mean, they're such a bad. I mean, and if you think about it, it's all from before Gary Neville went there. And good God, how long ago was that?
It's when they were winning like Europa. Well, I don't know if they won Europa League, but when they were literally like top 4 10 years ago, they were a top side.
And it's been bubbling for a long time now. It is sad. I mean, and I don't want Elche to go down. I don't know if you're aware of this, but Elche are technically, they're another one of my local sides in that we've got a family home near Alicante. And so I class Elche as a local team.
So it is. Well, the tickets will be cheaper. So there you go.
Just north of Alicante. So when I'm out there, well, the thing is, I'm only there in the summer, so the league's done then. But I'll try and do that. But that'll be sad for them to go down. But I mean, just taking a quick look at the table. So obviously Barcelona are still at the top. They lost the game. Ha 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 ha. Let's all enjoy that. Real Madrid, then this just standard. It's standard, but Real Sociedad, I like that. I like the fact that they're up there, making it a bit more exciting. And Atletico, and it'll be sad if Simeone does go. But it'll be interesting to see what happens. But I imagine they will fall apart should that happen. And not be in that position going forward because they've got no money. And who are they going to bring in? I mean, that is a ballsy man that wants to take over after Simeone at Atletico Madrid. And Valencia, not the best luck with managers. But that is La Liga. It's just everybody, if one red card City, baby. That's Nutbush City, by the way, which I think is Tina Turner. If you're wondering what song that was. Sevilla. Lucas, tell us about Sevilla.
Oh boy. Well, Napoli doing their best PSG impression here because it's done. It's done. Yeah, it's over.
Times.
It's over. Yeah, Napoli are going to win their first Scudetto since fucking hell. It might be since Maradona. I think it actually is.
Is it? Oh my days.
Yeah, I think it is. Yeah, I think this will be the first one since Maradona was playing. So what's that? 88?
Sweet Baby Jane and the Orphans. Incidentally, they had a red card as well this weekend. They're another team enjoying a red card.
No, Osimhen scored again. Again, he scored. So like Victor Osimhen is. I mean, let's be honest. He's the best striker in Europe at the moment. If you're going by form, he's got. I think he's on. What's that? 20 goals now in the league or 20 in. But yeah, he scored a lot of goals. Every time you see Napoli scoring goals, 19. Yeah. His name is like 90% chance his name is next to one of those goals. And then a special K with a penalty in that one as well. But yeah, well deserved. They've been the best team in Serie A. They've been one of the best teams in Europe this year. And honestly, I think they've got to be one of the favorites for the Champions League. Outside of, not winning as much. They're one of the best teams.
Didn't they lose to Liverpool?
No, I don't remember that. I don't think anyone remembers that. That might have it on FM, Josh.
This is one of the high points that I'm just taking. I think we beat them in the one group game. You got to take
Boom.
these victories when you can.
Boom's right. The rest of the league is not. Milan Inter drop points. Sorry, Milan didn't, and I think Roma still have to play. But like, yeah, Inter dropping points against Bologna is just like out of nowhere, and then Atalanta lost to Milan. Yeah, no one else is really. I think everyone else has kind of conceded the league to them. So, and then obviously with Juve getting knocked those points, it's pretty much done. This would be a huge ball job if this happened. There's no way. But yeah, see what they do, because again, I think Champions League, they beat Frankfurt 2-0 away from home, so I think they're pretty much through. But they're a team you probably want to avoid, unless of course you're Liverpool. You know.
Yeah, but I don't think we have to worry about next stages of the Champions League. I appreciate it though. Thank you.
Just in case, just in case.
Yeah, no, exactly. I'll take that. I mean, when we take a look at the Bundesliga, our early favourites, Union Berlin, unfortunately did get a bit of a pump in by Bayern Munich. Who just
humbling, wasn't it?
It's just spoiling. They just spoil football. I mean, I love the fact that Choupo-Moting seems to have found his stride. He's found the place for him to be, where he can excel at Bayern Munich, and he's doing well. I'm not sure. I haven't quite looked to see how many goals he's scored or where he's sitting, but every time I look at the game, he's scoring for them, and I think that's lovely to see an old man like that doing well and performing at the high level. But Dortmund, though, if you look at the form table, Dortmund have decided, you know what? Actually, we're supposed to be a good team in this league. Let's try and win some games,
isn't it? Right in time for that Chelsea game. Go on, Dortmund.
Yeah, I mean, and they're picking up with a 1-0 win over Hoffenheim with Julian Brandt, who I do rate. I think he's got a lovely set of arms on him as well. He reminds me of Goretzka. He's got a lovely frame, very well built, very well placed. But they played well. They played well, Dortmund. And boom in the chat here, Union. They just didn't show up. Yes. It was sad.
For the highlights, they look scared. I think they were a bit shaken, which is a shame because they've been a really good team.
Yeah,
but look at that, it's still tight. Top 6.
Yeah, I mean they've only 3 points off Bayern Munich, but let's be fair. It would be something special if Munich don't win the league. I mean, but I would love them to get Champions League football because they're only a little club, not a lot of money, but they're in the heart of Germany, so it'd be nice. It'd be nice to see them do well and to be into Europe and get a little bit of that Champions League dollar bills, y'all. And I mean, your friend and mine, Xavi Alonso, but he's still at Leverkusen. They drew against Freiburg. Freiburg have been doing very well in the league so far, but Leverkusen up in 11th, considering where they were and how they were playing when he came in. 11th, I think, is very admirable. Well done, Xavi, you beautiful man. Wonderful work. Congratulations. I'm very glad that he's pulled away there. And Schalke, though, at the bottom of the league, that's sad to see. I mean, what is going on with Schalke?
They just got promoted, didn't they?
Yeah, I mean, it was sad that they got relegated. It was lovely to see them come back up. I mean, they did win on the weekend, but it's unnerving. That form table there doesn't look very nice, does it? No. one win in 6, but lots of draws.
Isn't it?
Yeah, and it's the hope that kills you. See, it's the hope that kills you. But the Bundesliga, not as interesting as it was at the start of the league, but not too shabby. I can take it. That's fine. Ligue 1, I haven't even looked at the results. That's how little I care about Ligue 1. I just don't care. Is Poch still at Paris Saint-Germain?
No, he's been gone for ages.
Has he gone? This shows how little I care. I don't care.
It's Gautier, who was at.
Oh yeah, he was at one of the other teams, wasn't he?
He was at
somebody
Rennes
really bizarre.
Lille, I think. Lille? It might be on Nice. It's one of those 3. Rennes, Lille, or Nice.
I need to find out now.
PSG, man. PSG are not Neymar wasn't fit and they played really well without him in the team. So I think he's gone at the end of the season, but they're not going to win Champions League, so they don't care about the league. No. This league is just, they've ruined it.
Yeah, they've spoiled it. Nice. He was at Nice before.
Nice.
So,
God, I got it wrong.
But that was
nice. No, yeah, one of those. Yeah, Rennes, Lille, or Nice. It was one of those 3.
Yeah, and they just, Ligue 1, we don't care. PSG, Qatar, you've spoilt it. Your sports washing exercise in Paris of wrecked Spanish football. Spanish football, French football. French football. That's what you've wrecked. See, I care so little about Ligue 1. I don't even know what country you're in. So stuff you, PSG. Stuff Qatar investment in football. Please don't come after me. I'm sure it's lovely. You're really nice people in reality. Well done on the World Cup. Great work. Let's move swiftly along before something awful happens, which will be completely unrelated, I'm sure. Championship, Charlotte, tell us, please. It's been so long since I've hosted anything. I don't know what's going on. What's happened in the championship, Charlotte?
Yeah, so in the championship, we've still got Burnley, who were top of it with 76 points, and they beat they beat Huddersfield 4-0, who were struggling down at the bottom, not doing so well. Huddersfield. Yeah, Vincent Kompany's got them playing some really good stuff, so they're definitely on the way up, I reckon. Definitely.
How do you think you would do in the Premier League, incidentally? Do you think they're going to be a bit like one of those teams that blast the championship, come up here and they get found out and they fall apart?
I don't know, really, because I personally think as well it will have some help from obviously like Manchester City as well, with players and things like that. And I think he'll have a lot of contacts, because obviously he knows a lot of people, Kompany. And I think he'll actually be good to see. And this is no disrespect to Sean Dyche, but in the Premier League, I know, in the Premier League, Burnley playing like some really nice, pretty football like they have been doing, because we're used to like rough, tough Burnley. So I think it'll be quite a nice change.
How can I say? That sounds amazing. Rough, tough Burnley.
Rough, tough Burnley.
Tough Burnley. So you think Pep's going to do him a favour like he did Arteta at Arsenal and just help him out? Like, have some players, matey.
Yeah, maybe. I'm not saying that he needs them, because obviously at the minute championship, but I do think once they do step up to the championship, they will need a few like faces who are used to the Premier League, and I think that's vital for him, especially some experienced ones. So maybe, who knows?
Who?
In second place, we've still got Sheffield United on 64 points, a little bit of a gap from Burnley. They beat Watford 1-0 though. One of Lucas's favourites. And in the playoffs, in third
Get
spot,
Watford and Norwich out of those playoff spots now.
I know. In third place, we've got Middlesbrough. Michael Carrick, I gave him a mention last time I was on the pod. He's been doing a really good job there. They were in relegation, and now look at them sitting in third place. Unfortunately, though, they did get beat 2-0 at West Brom, but still.
Which made Chris sad. Chris is gutted in the chat.
Oh,
gutted. He did correct himself and say Bavo. It wasn't Bavo, which is a pen.
In fourth place, we've got a bit of a shocker. We've got Blackburn. How good would it be, Blackburn and Burnley?
Imagine. I'd like that. I miss Blackburn,
Yeah, I'd be up for that.
Yeah.
Blackburn, Middlesbrough, Luton, I'm here for. Everyone else, no.
Yeah, we'll have to have a chat with the championship people and just say these are the teams that we want.
Yeah, make it happen.
Imagine.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
They're on 55 points. Obviously, Millwall are in the fifth spot, 53 points. They beat Stoke 1-0. And Luton as well, as I mentioned, a shock, because they've kind of built themselves up seasons after season, because I remember playing them in League Two, obviously Rochdale, not too long ago. So they've been doing a brilliant job, and considering their budget as well isn't as high and as strong as a lot of the other teams in that league, I think they're doing absolutely brilliant to be in the position they are. I just don't know if they would be able to obviously compete in the Premier League. I know obviously you do get parachute payments, and for obviously getting promoted you get a payment, but I just don't know whether they'd be strong enough to compete in the Premier League. But they've done really well getting to where they are now, so who knows? It'd be nice
to have those dollar bills.
Yeah. Imagine Luton with the big money. And then
boom, just quickly in the chat, boom, yes I do, we would like to edit the settings for the championship, please.
100%.
And I'm bringing them up. And Ben, Who is this? But Diaz. He's the striker at Blackburn, isn't he?
He'll get bought if they don't get promoted. I think.
Yeah.
He'll get someone will snap him up.
He's good. So we're gonna start the campaign for Blackburn for the Premier League, please, Mr. Championship. Burnley, Blackburn, and Bother.
Yeah,
I think
sorted.
I think it'd be nice to have a few different ones. I know Burnley obviously went down and stuff, but I don't mind Burnley. They're all right to have in, and obviously under new management now as well. So
and I love the way you say it.
I know. And then in relegation, obviously, I touched on Huddersfield before. They are 22nd with 31 points.
No.
Blackpool are 23rd, and they have 31 points. They lost away to Reading 3-1. And at the bottom, poor Wigan. Sad to see, because obviously not that long ago they were in the Premier League as well. Obviously, Roberto Martinez was their manager. They won the cup against Manchester City not overly long ago as well. So to see them in the position they are, it is quite sad. But they lost at Preston 2-1. Just above the relegation zone as well, I wanted to touch on, because Cardiff are quite a big club. And obviously to see them so far down in the table, they're 21st with 35 points. They lost away to another one of Lucas's favourites, Norwich, at the weekend.
Do you know what? I fell out of love with Cardiff City because of the way that they dealt with the old Emiliano Sala episode.
Yeah.
Since then, I've just sort of lost a bit of respect for them. So I've even though geographically Cardiff are closer than Swansea for me, I'd much rather Swansea do well, because Cardiff, you spoilt it, because that was very poor form.
Just to touch on Swansea as well, they are actually playing tonight against Rotherham, and they were at half-time 1-0 up against Rotherham. They're struggling as well, Rotherham. But I just wanted to give a special mention as well, because I know not that long ago when we were all talking, we actually mentioned Coventry, and they were struggling near the bottom, and they actually beat Sunderland at home 2-1, and they're 11th now on 48 points. So just a turnaround since obviously January. It's just been massive, and Mark Robbins is obviously doing a job there. I think the January transfer window were quite vital for them, so it's quite a good turnaround for them, because they were struggling.
And I'm happy with a feel-good story for Coventry. I mean, because especially, was it at the start of the season or during the middle of the season when they had issues potentially with the stadium again, with the ownership being silly beggars. So that's lovely. That's lovely to see. Apparently, former Dale player Jamie Allen scored. Which game? I'm not totally sure, but
I like Jamie Allen. I've always had a soft spot for Jamie Allen. He's one of my favourite ever players, so it's always nice to see him score as well.
Oh, and Boom's just saying Birmingham City are in a mess as well at the moment.
Yeah, they're in a massive mess, but to be fair to them, they were struggling at the start of the season a bit more. They seem to have picked up form, but yeah, just ownership and just in general, they just seem to be struggling a lot, Birmingham, but they have picked up. But I don't think they'll be in massive danger to go down, because I just think the teams below them, Huddersfield, Blackpool and Wigan, it seems to be them all the time, and they just seem to be overtaking each other, just getting points.
Never
off each other,
discount
no one else.
the power of Warnock, though. The man with no eyebrows.
That is true.
Haley's favourite manager.
Lord Voldemort himself.
But yeah, that's everything on the Championship.
League One.
Yeah, League One. Since I was last on, there's been another change at the top again. I just think every time I do one of these, it's just a competition between Chef Wednesday and Plymouth who can overtake one another. I get really confused. So Chef Wednesday are top at the minute on 71 points, and they had a good win away at Charlton. Plymouth, obviously 68 points in second. They were beaten 5-2 away at Peterborough, which was a very shock result. Yeah, massive shock.
I did see that. It made me say I want Plymouth to come up.
I do.
I'd like to see that. So yeah, I was a bit, because it was quite comprehensive pumping as well, goals throughout the game. It wasn't like a little blast and something and then they fell apart. It was they got battered.
I do feel like every time there's a team at the top doing quite well, and obviously it is getting close, I feel like they are due a game like that, because there's been, especially in lower league where anything can happen, where there's always like a shock result. And I just think it will Plymouth's time this week just to get hammered, and then hopefully they can pick back up again. Barnsley. Just getting on to the playoffs now, obviously. Ipswich in third with 63 points. They beat relegation strugglers MK Dons 1-0, so wasn't a massive shock result for them. But Ipswich are quite a weird team as well, where they just seem to be up there, but they never, every season, but they never quite get to the next level to get promoted. Bolton, another team who are doing really well at the minute. They seem to be on great form. Another ex-Rochdale player as well. Aaron Morley plays for them. 62 points. They beat Port Vale 2-1. Barnsley overtook Derby, obviously, to become 5th place spot. They won 4-1 at home.
Have they got quite a few games in hand as well, Barnsley?
Yeah, they have.
What's happened there? Did their pitch just like freeze over or something?
3 games
inaccessible?
Yeah, I don't know either that or whether it was cup or something, whether they've had a run in the cup, I'm not too sure. So yeah, I'm not too sure about that one.
Because they're a form team, because I think it was if that is 3 games, that which 3 times 3 is 9. See at GCSE maths, thank you very much. 59 plus 9, I think, is 68. Is it?
Yeah, it is.
Which puts them in a very good position if they keep up this form.
Yeah, a really good position, and to say as well,
mental maths for morons.
Yeah, it's very close. And in relegation as well, it's just the same teams I seem to be talking about each week. In 21st place, we've got Accrington, who managed a 0-0 draw at Burton. MK Dons are in 22nd place with 29 points. They lost to Ipswich, as I've just mentioned. 23rd spot is Cambridge on 29 points. They lost away to Exeter 2-0. And then sitting at the bottom, no change there, Forest Green. They are still rock bottom, but they did manage to pick up a point at home to Lincoln City. But yeah, they are quite a few points adrift, so it's not looking good for Forest Green, unfortunately.
And incidentally, you're all probably too young to do this, but there was a Milk Marketing Board advert in 1989. There was a young boy who said Accrington Stanley in the advert, who's just gone to jail for murder, incidentally. Just throwing that out there. Milk Accrington Stanley, who are they, was the line, and who are they? They're about to get relegated to League 2. Just a little bit of useless trivia. For those of you who like useless trivia. But Charlotte, the league everyone wants to see.
We really don't.
The one that makes me sad. I think Chris said he's going out for a cup of tea when you were covering League 2, I believe. What's going on, Char?
To make myself better at first, I'm going to start with the top. So I don't have to look at it just yet. So sitting at the top in first position, obviously Leyton Orient, a good few points adrift now on 71. They managed a 2-2 draw away at Grimsby. Second place is Carlisle on 58 points. So obviously there's quite a good distance of points between first and second. Carlisle beat Crawley 5-2, which was a good result for us because Crawley are just above us, but we can't seem to win, so it doesn't really matter. Third place is Stevenage, and I actually feel really bad for Stevenage fans because since I said that I thought they were going to win the league, they've gone on a really bad run. So I think I'm going to have I'm going to have Stevenage fans coming at me, but the only good thing is they do play us on Saturday, so it's a guaranteed.
You're hoping the jinx comes. Yeah. Continues.
Yeah. So they're obviously third now on 57 points. They lost 1-0 to Tranmere, but as I said, they do play us on Saturday, so I'm sure they will get back to winning ways then. Playoffs, we've got Northampton in fourth place on 55 points. They beat Colchester 1-0. Stockport, I just want to give a shout out to them because they've put a really good run of games together. I think they went 5 unbeaten and went on a really good run. Obviously, they lost at weekend to Barrow, but just to see them climbing the table after they've had a lot of bad luck. Obviously, through the years, Stockport, they were quite a high club, I think, League One Championship club, and obviously went down to non-league and got themselves back up again. So it's really nice to see a local team obviously doing well again. A local team I don't like seeing doing well is Salford. They're in sixth place on 52 points. They beat Mansfield 5-2, and Mansfield obviously 7th, 52 points as well. Relegation in 23rd spot, we've got Crawley on 26 points. And then just below them, we've got Rochdale on 22 points. So a good few points adrift. But
do you know what? I don't want to be an arsehole or anything, but
we're down.
Crawley Town have got quite a few games in hand as well, you know.
We're down 100%. I've took it as that now. Yeah. It's not good. I've took it as if we're down, we're out, we're beaten. So anything else now is a positive.
Chris in the chat said he likes Salford because of Matty Lund. Who's Matty Lund, sir?
Oh, I don't like Matty Lund now. He used to be one of my favourite players for Rochdale, and yeah, it just got a move to Salford, and I don't like him anymore. I think I'm just jealous because we've not got him. I'm just bitter and jealous. I just wish we had him this season. I really do. So yeah.
That's sad. Do you think you'd be swapping places with Wrexham then?
Yeah, I think so. I think Wrexham have to go up, just like the money behind him and everything. I think it'll be a massive shock if they don't. I don't think are they top though still, Wrexham? I don't think they are.
No, I think they're second.
I'm sure Notts County. It's Notts County top.
Yeah, 2 points ahead, but they have got 2 games in hand.
Yeah. But we're definitely down. But just for scoops as well, I wanted to give a mention to Gillingham, who obviously beat AFC Wimbledon 2-1.
Are we saying Gillingham or Gillingham?
I know. I'm going to say Gillingham. They came back to take the 3 points, and they're 20th now in the table with 33 points. So they're 7 points clear of the drop. But as we were talking at the beginning of the season, and not that long ago as well, they were rock bottom for a very long time. But they've just been took over by an American business owner called Brad Gallinson. And obviously, since he's took over, the money is pumped into the club, and just their January transfer window has been vital to them. And since then, obviously, they've just really picked up. So yeah, it's good to see Gillingham doing really well, because I've got a few Gillingham fan friends, Scoops being one of them. Paige from her game too. She's my best friend from her game too. So it's nice. It's nice to see another club doing well.
Oh, bless your heart. You're so lovely. Chris in the chat, he said it's sad to see teams in the National League with a bigger budget than Rochdale. But are you one of the few fan-owned ones, though? Are there any other fan-owned?
Not that I can really remember off the top of my head. But our chairman's actually come out and said, obviously, we are fan-owned, but we need someone to come in and obviously buy shares. And obviously, we're not really sustainable anymore, just being fan-owned. To get us to the next level and to be able to compete with these teams, we need someone in there who obviously is going to put money into the club, not as a majority shareholder, because they obviously want us to remain fan-owned, but someone to obviously get shares, but be able to put their own money on stuff into the club. So, yeah, it's really sad to see, but I just feel like with us, it has been a long time coming, because the last few seasons, it's just not been good enough, and we've just got worse and worse every season. And then, unfortunately now, although we are not officially relegated, I think we are definitely gone. I think it'll take a miracle. I hope I'm proven wrong, but I can't see it.
So if any of Charlotte's celebrity followers on Twitter would like a team to invest in, Rochdale's the one. I'm sure she'll meet you at the club. She'll say hello and wave and come to the games with you and stuff. I'm sure.
I'll even do your ironing. Anything. I'll come and hoover your house. I'll take your dog for a walk. Absolutely anything, and I'm there. Just please save us.
Hoover your house.
Yeah.
I will.
Oh dear. I mean, there we apparently you're losing 2 million a season. Shish kebab.
Damn.
Yeah, it's not good. Not good.
That's not. But I think that brings us, I think, closely to the end. I mean, just as a sidebar, something that I've been contemplating, because obviously I haven't been around for a lot. So I appreciate publicly, I want to say a massive thank you to Sam, primarily for all the work. Sam does so much work behind the scenes, especially at the moment with thumbnails, setting up the StreamYards, everything. Massive thank you to Sam. He's a beautiful human being inside and outside. So thank you very much to Sam. Thank you. Yeah, but thanks to Charlotte and Lucas and Haley as well for picking up the slack while I've been sabbatical in, as it were. So I really do appreciate it, guys. It means a lot. It's been really lovely. Something I've been contemplating though is do we bring back this thing? It's been a long
We'll
time.
Start fresh. Start a new one. Now Haley's here. Start a new one.
Yeah, exactly. I agree.
Yeah.
Got to start a new one.
Yeah.
I mean, what we can do, I think, I can't remember what I said the prize was. I think it was like a big hug of something or something like that. I can't quite remember. We didn't stipulate at the time, but I think, I mean, we could do a poll whether or not, and I might do that. We might do a poll out on the old Twitter arty. Should we bring up the prediction table? And if we do, does it need to be started from scratch to give Lucas a chance to redeem himself for being so far behind? But we'll have
I'm
a look
only
at that.
1 point ahead.
I know, but look at those lovely figures in that pink box. Doesn't that look divine? That is superb. We quite like that. So I'd be happy to continue as it is. Let us know if you think we should restart it afresh or pick up on where we are, please. But we'll look forward to that. That'll probably be something we'll look to start over the coming weeks. I know as we reach the tail end of the season and things start to become even more frantic and unpredictable. But a massive thank you to everyone for watching. Thank you for taking part. To Chris, to Boom, to Scoops, to Solaris, to Vesti, and everybody watching. It's been absolutely lovely. And Charlotte, where can everybody find you? Because they all want to find you social media-wise. Don't be giving out your home address or anything. Social media-wise, where can people find you, Charlotte?
I am most active on Twitter and TikTok and Instagram under SharXRAFC. You can also find my Rochdale Her Game 2 stuff. That's Rochdale HGT on all of them as well. And yeah, just looking for an owner for Rochdale as well. So I'll be out everywhere asking to hoover houses, clean up, anything. If you've got money to pump into my club, give me a shout.
I'm not going to add anything further to that. Lucas, where can people find you, Super Lucas?
Crab Gibble on Twitch, TikTok, and Twitter.
And what are you doing at the? You gaming on still FMing at the moment heavily?
Yeah, for the most part during the week, and then on the weekends I play different. I was playing Witcher, and I was playing Resident Evil 2 actually, which I think you'd enjoy. Number 4 is out in a month, I think, so I'm going to get that. So I wanted to play number 2 and number 3 first.
Well,
not as scary as Village. Josh, don't worry.
But you know what? I've got the Quarry ready to play, and my wife has started a job. Yeah, I mean, it means that here we are. Realist is realist in the chat.
He went a bit mental at Miles from her side today on Twitter. It's quite funny.
I'm gonna have to check that out.
You gotta check that out.
If somebody could tag me into that Twitter thread, that would be sensational, because I am at FMFO official, just everywhere. Instagram, YouTube, TikTok. I might do something on one of them someday aside from Twitter, but the likelihood is I might return to weekend streaming potentially. The Quarry is the game that I've got up next. If you want to see a grown man cry, be terrified, potentially wet himself live on stream for your entertainment, check out FMFO official. And of course, you can follow the podcast at, I think, the Absolute Ball Pod on Twitter. I don't know what we are. Look on Charlotte's page. She'll be tagging us in something at some point. I think it's Absolute Ball Pod, but look for Absolute Football Podcast everywhere on the tickety tick 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 tock tock boom. And where Sam does a lot of work on there because he's such a hero. But make sure you check us out. Thank you ever so much for joining us today. And remember, trust the process. Have a lovely evening. Tatty bye.